Today's top stories. The worst global financial crisis in 70 years has now hit Iran's stock market. Tehran's stock index fell 579 points, or 5.6%, to 2,349 on Sunday. The index has now fallen in value to about $58 billion from about $62 billion. Meanwhile, Iran's foreign exchange revenue for the first 6 months of the Iranian year was nearly $60 billion, a 50% increase from the same time period last year. President Ahmadinejad yesterday wrote a letter to his economy minister calling for the establishment of a team to study the impact of the global financial crisis on Iran's economy. Global stocks were up today following a late surge in Asia's markets, and on news that profits at Europe's second-largest oil company, British Petroleum, rose 83% in the third quarter to $8.05 billion. In New York, the Dow Jones Industrial Average followed the international markets into positive territory. At 13:49 GMT, the index was up 319 points, or 3.91% at 8,495. Meanwhile, news of a possible second cut in crude production sent oil prices up today. U.S. light crude for December delivery was up $1.37 per barrel to $64.59 at 13:23 GMT. OPEC Secretary General Abdallah Salem al-Badri told reporters today that the cartel may cut production even further if prices fail to stabilize, perhaps before a scheduling meeting in December. Russia's President Dmitry Medvedev today dismissed as short-sighted a U.S. decision to impose sanctions on Russian arms exporter Rosoboronexport for alleged sales of weapons or sensitive technology to Iran, North Korea, and Syria. He called the move unscrupulous competition and added, quote, "The main thing is that for us this decision can hardly be felt, and that must be taken into account by those who took this decision." U.S. State Department spokesperson Sean McCormick told reporters yesterday that the sanctions were unlikely to change Moscow's cooperation with 5 other major powers on Iran's nuclear program. Quote, "Iran having a nuclear weapon isn't in Russia's interest. It's in nobody's interest." Western media has quoted an unnamed U.S. official confirming a raid by U.S. forces on the Syrian side of the Iraqi border on Sunday killed a major smuggler of foreign fighters into Iraq. According to Reuters, an anonymous U.S. official said that the helicopter raid into Syria killed Abu Khadija, an Iraqi who was a key figure in smuggling fighters into Iraq. A second U.S. official who also spoke on condition of anonymity told Reuters that only those the U.S. considers as a threat were targeted in the raid, and that women and children were left alive. Syria condemned the attack as an act of terrorist aggression and said that 8 unarmed civilians were killed in the incident. The Iraqi government has denounced the airstrike inside Syrian soil, but at the same time it called for a halt to all terrorist activities in Syria. These stories and more at IranVNC.com.